think Nathan might be frozen. Do we have a frozen Nathan to start? Are you there, Nathan?
Can I? All right, man. What a disjointed start to this. Jeff Scott's tenure, it was disjointed, and I keep refreshing. I don't know what's going on. This has been pretty great. This is a top-notch start.
This is our homage.
It's complete disjointment. Nobody knows what's going on.
Rough starts. I mean,
we're already down 10.
This is just this is an homage.
Yeah, this is just an homage. Well, welcome to TDS Live as we mercifully review the Zapruder film of the Temple game. I think maybe we'll see exactly when the back of Jeff Scott's brains were out, and now is it Bob Shoop? Because he thinks it's gonna be all right, or is it someone else?
Yeah, I don't know. I think when Kelly Joyner gets the ball pulled out, it goes back into the left. So I think that might be the point there.
I think you're right there. So I mean, obviously, it was an unmitigated disaster on Saturday as the Bulls lost 54-28 to the Temple Owls in Philadelphia. It led to Jeff Scott's firing. We've talked about it at great length. We've talked about our hot boards, but we haven't really talked about the game or dissected it in any meaningful way. I say we just jump right into the carnage, the wreckage of whatever Saturday was. And, Seth, you said right before we went on air, you'll try to find the positive in just about anything. And the offense, maybe the lone bright spot.
Yeah, so what that means for the Temple game is we're only going to watch the offense. So that's where we can find the positives here. Let's go full screen here. So we're not going to look at every play, but we'll look at some select plays. So here we'll start with the 3rd and 11. This is on the first drive here. So we've got the first drive and the last drive from the first half. Then the second half, kind of the key plays from the second half. So here you go, 3rd and 11. Great design on the screen, right? Temple was pretty fired up early. But notice here you did a double. So you do like a double screen. So you actually have a screen set up down here as well. And then a screen to the back set up on this side. So you kind of get the quarterback options. Right, we could have thrown this one. And it looks like this one probably would have been a big gainer too. So they kind of got exactly what they wanted on either side. Good job blocking here by Horn. And good job by the lineman downfield. Nice pickup on a 3rd and 11 against what was one of the top 5 pass defenses in the country, according to the numbers pregame. At least that's what the broadcast was saying. All right, 1st and 10. I think this is the very next play. Move the pocket for Marsh. Get a nice, easy throw. You're running a little smash concept. You got a hitch here from Weaver. You got a hitch in a corner. We're just going to roll out to it. Nice, easy read. If the corner bails, throw the hitch. You see the corner's bailing, throw the hitch. Very easy. Nice pickup on 1st down. You end up getting to 3rd and 3 here. Use some motion. Kelly Joyner is able to stick it up in there. Push forward for the 1st down. Then this is kind of, I think, like the the next 2 plays are kind of the Travis Marsh experience, it seems like, where your first play is you get a throw that gets open and you miss it. Not a crazy tough throw, right? And even if, Weaver wasn't kind of stemming this thing to where he works him here, then outside to make him think it's a go route, then breaks it back down. Even if it was just straight vertical, you don't want to miss in here on any type of curl. Don't miss inside, miss outside of the sideline, right? So here, but great route by Weaver, breaks him down. Marsh is trying in his defense, he's trying to throw the anticipation, but like aim it at this outside shoulder right there. So when he turns around, it's outside, inside right there. Yeah,
I'm sure that blitz kind of sped him up a little bit. I thought it was a pretty good job by Petit, kind of pushing him past Marsh, giving him a clean pocket to kind of. It's just as you just this point.
Yeah, so he the pocket that might have rushed him a little bit, but he does have a pretty clean pocket to throw to. That's one you kind of got to make. But then the next one here, it's 3rd and 9. Then he just goes and drops this one in the bucket right here, like a perfect throw. So this is kind of like this is the Trey Marshall experience, and maybe this is just like the inexperienced quarterback that's talented experience too, because he makes some great throws in this game, and then he also has turnovers and some missed throws. So maybe this is just a product of not having a ton of experience. But this has kind of been the story on him the past couple of years. So you pick up a first down, run on first down, get 2. Creative play here. You go from what looks like a pistol set, you motion the quarterback out, and now you're in Wildcat. And now just showing the quarterback there first, the defense is not thinking Wildcat, obviously. Once you motion, now they have to make a check. Do they have a specific check or a specific look they want to get to in Wildcat? If they saw that first, now they have a chance to adjust to it. But since you motion out of it, now we've got to try to figure out, what's our check for Wildcat? Let's get to that. And then you bring more motion and run a little read. Just gets tripped up there. Maybe should have given the jet here. But I would guess they're probably not having him read it. They're just saying you keep it or you give it. That's part of the play call right there. But creative play. Don't pick up anything on 3rd down. You're getting a 4th and 6. I was glad to see them go for it in this game. Now it's kind of all for somewhat of a moot point at this point. But, being aggressive on the road when in a game you have a chance to win. You feel coming into it. I like that. You get rewarded with an interference call. And you could see from the back view of this, he is pulling on Weaver's jersey pretty hard.
Yeah, it was
definitely
pretty
interference. Yeah. So, and then 1st and goal, you mix in some Marsh into the quarterback run game, which they did a little bit here off the bash action. Again, this is one you probably would have been all right given too. It would have been basically a race between these two. You get Petit one-on-one, but not a bad decision. Good job kind of cleaning this up down. You got a kick, and then he's following him. He might wrap, depending on what this first blocker does. He goes to wrap. Marsh reads it well. Picks up a nice gain on 1st and goal here. So using Marsh in the run game a little bit. So a little different wrinkle. Now I think maybe you're in that 4-game situation where Byron Brown can play without issue of having to risk his red shirt. So maybe that's why he saw a little bit more quarterback run this week as opposed to last week when you really didn't want to have to play Byron Brown if you didn't have to.
Right.
3rd and goal after a penalty. So you get stuffed on 2nd and goal. You get a penalty, pushes it back. So they did the same motion previously. The formation was a little different. He's going to motion across to the outside. I'm not sure if this is a corner or safety, but he comes to man up Carter, and then as the motion comes across, he comes out. So it's a nice, easy declaration for the quarterback of what the coverage probably is. And then this is just a really good throw. This is a really tight window right here. They're trying to, I think, sit him at the front. Kind of a post. What's off screen now? Kind of a post behind it here. Or almost like a glance right behind it. And you can really see how tight the window is and how good the throw is from this view. So kind of sitting this here, keeping that, and then I'm working. Weaver's going to be coming back into this window here. Watch the throw there. over this guy, up high for Weaver. So you see, this is like, the very good stuff Marsh can do.
Yep.
That's a big time throw right there.
And he did that to, I think it was Jimmy Horn the previous week at Houston, kind of fitting it in there. That seems to be like his bread and butter almost. Those post routes, the slants where it is a tight window. Don't ask him to hit a wide open receiver at the sticks, but he can really sling it in there when he needs to put some mustard on it.
Yeah, it seems like he likes the in breaking routes. The ones out to the sideline seem to be a little more erratic, but the ones that are breaking in, notwithstanding the fourth down last week against Houston, but that might have been miscommunication. So here we're going basically to the last drive of the first half now. So first drive, 15-play drive, go down and score. I'm thinking, all right, good. They're gonna put it all together. They can blow out Temple. Obviously, that should not happen. So now we're here to the last drive. First, we'll start with a great kick return by Brian Petit. Just misses House in this thing. This guy just gets a piece of like his calf with his wrist and kind of forces his feet together. Just about houses it. So great kickoff return. Great design by Coach DePrado, who's now your interim head coach.
Head coach DePrado.
Coach DDP. Then 1st and 10, first play. Again, to me, I would throw this because even with the guy coming out here, so right now, 1, 2, there's not really a third guy out here. So as I motion him out, even though somebody comes down, like block him, throw that. I'm good with that. Leave this guy. Don't worry about him. But he decides. Maybe he's thinking, he's coming down and he just sees this guy starting to move outside. So maybe he's thinking, all right, well, he's actually going out. So he takes off the other way.
This is the 4th down call from Cincinnati, right? I mean, that's basically
they didn't pull anybody, but it's a similar idea where I can throw it or I can pull it down, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not
the one thing you wanted for Cincinnati, you got the motion and what he picks up 4 or 5 yards there.
Yeah. So and then he gets out of bounds as well, conserves the time on the clock. 2nd and 1 here. He'll be breaking out. I think he's probably running to go, maybe a post. He's got a dig and he's just running kind of a comeback out here behind it. Good job working to the dig. Again, this is not like a super. When he starts to when he throws this thing, he's not even right. He's still inside. This guy's got leverage, so he has to throw it to the spot here. So this is really good stuff. Throw it to the window. Really, really good stuff right there from Marsh. Right, because a lot of times guys will wait for this thing to come open and then he's getting sacked. Here, he sees the window. He throws it to the window. Lets your receiver run to it. That's really good stuff. Picks up another first down. And again, there's another in-breaking route. Right here, drops the snap, but is still able to recover. And this is one he misses at another point in the game. It's just a two-man stick concept. He's hitching up here. He's running the speed out. If they widen, you can hit the stick. If he bails, you have the speed out. If they try to run underneath it, you have the stick.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of maybe gets a little bit lucky here that he kind of takes his eyes off us, and this guy does kind of get out to the flat, but he makes a good enough throw, and that guy kind of gets lost to where he completes it there. Now it puts you in 2nd and 1. Motion horn across, and this is another laser beam right here. RPO look. Puts it right on him. Again, starts to throw before he's cleared. Just throw it to the spot, right? That's the best coaches I've been around. That's how they teach the passing game. Don't throw it to the guy. Throw it to the spot, and the receiver better get there. And if he doesn't, he's in trouble, right? So just a great throw. We'll watch this one more time just because it's a great job of anticipating it, and that's what you got to do in the red zone. You got to anticipate because it's a lot more condensed. Anticipate the throw, put it on him.
Yep.
Good stuff.
And I think that might be Xavier Weaver's final touchdown as a Bull.
We'll see. I don't. Has there been anything official about along those lines?
I mean, a quick aside here. There were reports that a couple of guys have entered the portal or are going to be entering the portal, as we've mentioned on the podcasts this week. When a team fires their head coach, any player can enter the portal for 30 days. So you can enter the portal right now if you'd want to. Reports are that Xavier Weaver and Matt Hill will be entering the portal. Both players were at practice today inside the newly opened indoor performance facility. So we'll see how that goes. I will say Xavier Weaver looked not happy. And he was at the back of the picture. He's kind of always been a front of the picture kind of person, very smiley, very go after it kind of guy. So that's definitely something I clocked as as your in-house body language doctor. That did not go unnoticed.
But he was there. So that is a good thing for now. All right, let's get the second half here. Great half. Not really. Good patience here by BT.
Great half.
Good patience here. Watch the footwork. He does a great job of kind of setting this up. When he kind of cuts here, you can see this guy bounce out, and then he gets back up inside there. Cuts, makes him commit out here, and then actually gets vertical. Really good stuff. That's what I hope. I don't think, right, guys entering the portal, we'll kind of talk through it. The guys entering the portal can't transfer until the window opens, right? You can just enter the portal and get contacted. Is that correct?
That is my understanding, that you can just get into the portal, and then I believe you're able to be contacted at that point. And now the interpretation of it, I've had varying degrees of people saying one thing or another. You can enter, but you can't talk to anyone until the portal officially opens. I think they've made it a little bit more convoluted.
Yeah.
I should say.
I think once you enter, you can get contacted. That's nobody can enter. Guys will announce that they can enter. Like who was it at USF? Christian Helms, was that the name?
Yeah,
he announced he was going to enter. Earlier in the season, and then Scott's been fired, so now he can enter. I believe he did enter today, if I'm correct. So I think once you enter, you can get contacted, because otherwise he would have, why would you announce you're going to enter? There's got to be something in it. But anyways, so I guess I only say that to say that guys can't transfer out in the middle of the season. So the new coach will get time, I think, to make his pitch, I would say. Great job here by Weaver. Good cut by Batty, bouncing this thing outside.
Makes a guy miss in a one-on-one situation, as you like to see. Gets a few extra yards there.
Yep. So they got something cooking a little bit here on the second drive, and this is a great play. So this is actually like a...
Yeah, this was a fun one.
This is a classic triple option double wing play. We had to run my last year coaching. We had to really simplify, and with our personnel, we had to go to some double wing stuff. And we actually put this in our last game of the year, because I was like, it's probably the last game I'm going to coach, so I'm just going to do whatever I want. I don't care. So we ran it the double. It's called crisscross. We gave the jet sweep here. The other wing came back and got it. So this is an old wing double handoff play. We fumbled it every time in practice and actually hit it in the game. And there was nobody on the backside, but we were not very fast. So it was a 5-yard gain instead of like this, because Horn is very fast. So Cool thing here is it does not look like Wildcat, right? Just because of the setup, but you actually have the back right behind the center, snap direct to the back, hands it to Marsh, hands it back. And this is just old school crisscross. And then once you get this dude in the open field, he's a problem. And hopefully you don't get him in the open market because that would be a problem for USF. And here's from the back. Again, this thing's blocked really well too. That's the really unfortunate part is the offensive group as a whole has been pretty good this year. I mean, think about how many linemen they've had to sort through. And last year there were times where everyone's like, "Well, this is a great running team." It's like, yeah, they ran for 400 yards in Temple, but they weren't really doing it against the better teams. They're performing pretty well against everybody this year. So it's unfortunate you couldn't get the defense to match, but this is blocked up really well. I mean, I don't think he gets touched. Right? I mean, look at this here. Maybe by Chris Carter's butt, but that's it. Other than that, untouched. That's pretty good. Next drive, 1st and 10.
But wait, Seth, I thought they just cut the lead to 23-21. How is it already Temple 30, USF 21?
That's been redacted. Okay. We've redacted all the defensive film. It's a matter of national security. So they're trying to double move here. Temple does a pretty good job. I can't tell if they wanted to kind of dig route and go, or if he's trying to set up the post corner. But the Temple guy does a good job. But this is what they're trying to do here is just take a shot, right? They've got him leaning a little bit. I think you get a little unlucky that you're trying to get back out, it looks like, and you just run into the guy because you've got him doing what you want. He's starting to come downhill, and then he just runs into you, and that's how he's able to recover. Marsh does a good job just getting it out of there. Maybe throwing it at the spot he'd normally been throwing it to, just a little out of bounds, get rid of it. But trying to take a shot on 1st down, I think Trickett seems to understand kind of like, hey, I need a momentum swing here. He's got a good feel, it seems like, right? Like the last drive, they're down, bust out this a kind of a trick play
right,
for a big score, trying to go for it on 1st down here, trying to maybe get your defense fired up a little bit. Just couldn't do it. Gets to 4th down. Running a little split zone here. Good job by Chris Carter on the split flow here. Making good contact, finishing that right there. Good cut, finding the hole, pick up a 1st down. Making it look pretty easy on 4th and 3. This one, you kind of just missed this one being a big play too. So reverse. It's just this block right here. This guy does a pretty good job. Weaver goes inside for him, but you'd rather kind of be flatter. And then if the guy tries to go over the top, it's easier to adjust there than if I go at him. If I go at him here and he comes under, I'm screwed. I can't get back in the play. So just kind of a bad angle, but the guy's moving, so it makes it tough. But if you get him blocked up, so let's use our imaginations. If he's blocked in here, now you've got this blocked. You've got, I think, Cecil coming for the corner. You basically have another huge play like the last one. Just that one little mistake right there, and the Temple defender makes a good play. But you almost get another one here on kind of a similar misdirection type play. So, again, creative stuff. Didn't quite work out there, but it's been pretty good. Here's another one. Like, right now, it's not – like, he's not in this count. So right now I have 2, really. If I want to consider him the third, it's 3 over 3. When I motion him out, it's still 3 over 3. I don't consider him in the count. So I'm taking this thing and I'm throwing it at Batiste out here and letting him go to work. Because right here, I got that. 2 at worst. I got 2 for him, and then he's 1-on-1 there. But kind of same as the previous one. Pulls it down, makes something out of it, picks up positive yards. But I think you'd be better served just throwing it out there. Make them really match the numbers out there. So get to 4th and 6 here. And this is one where, all the good throws, and then you come back. This isn't perfect. If you put it on him, you've got a chance. I think he wanted to throw this dig, which I really don't know why he didn't throw it, too, looking at it. Maybe the referee, but.
And Batty was open in the flat as well, but
it seems like he's looking right down the middle of the field here.
So, he's looking for.
And then he adjusts his eyes.
Comes back.
Better throw. You probably pick up the first down, but just airmails it a little bit. And like we've shown, he's made some great throws in this game, just a little inconsistent. So I think you hold him to a field goal there. You get the ball back. Another RPO look. Great route here by Weaver. I mean, the guy doesn't even get a hand on him, and then he's good after catch as well. Good job not getting a clip right there by holding Willis. You get a big play, and now you're kind of right back in it. This is blocked really well, and it's a really good cut by Batty. Kick out here. He's doing a good job. Eyes, and he actually makes a great block here. And then Batty makes a great cut. And then this guy makes a great play. And that's going to happen sometimes. But you get him one-on-one with the safety, you're going to like your odds a lot more often than not. The guy just makes a great play. Still pick up positive yards, but this is really well blocked up front. You basically get your back one-on-one with a safety. That's good stuff. Marsh has the ability to pull that if he wants. He makes the correct read. That guy just makes a good play. Otherwise, it's a touchdown. Get the 3rd and goal. Use the return motion. Weaver's going to attract a lot of attention. Marsh is able to keep it alive. Holden Willis does a good job. You can see from the back view, we don't have it here, but he does a good job kind of finding the soft spot and putting his hand up and letting Marsh know that he's in the back of the end zone there. Good job by Marsh getting it to him. And that's Holden Willis' first career touchdown catch, I believe.
Yep.
So good for him. He's going to be another guy. That's the reason I was talking about the transfer portal earlier, and these guys having a chance to get pulled out by the new coaches. Whoever comes in, if they're an offensive guy, is going to have a lot of really good pieces to work with. And they fit a variety of schemes. Like if it's a Jamie Chadwell, these backs will fit in there. Like these backs and Horn will fit. And then Weaver, they with the play action shots over the top and stuff, those guys will fit that system really well. If it's, a Sean Lewis type guy from Kent State, or if it's somebody running like a Baylor system, the guys would fit that really well. So you've got a bunch of good pieces here on offense. That's obviously not the issue. So here's Wildcat again. Reading. He's probably not reading. They're pulling this way. These two are arcing. Really good. I mean, just this action, the guards pulling, you see them taking the linebackers over there. And now you basically got 1-on-1 outside and then 2-for-1 right there. And that gets you another run where you go untouched for like 15 or 20 yards. So, again, good design. Just pulling these guys holds all these dudes backside. And then I get a nice free lane in the run game. The offense is really doing a lot of good stuff still. It's these kind of things that basically you have no margin for error with the way the defense was playing.
Right.
Here, I think he just isn't quite exactly sure what he wants to do. He's probably at this point thought he's going to give it, and now he decides he wants to pull it. You can see the ball is, when they have a tighter view of this, and he's really like pulling. It almost looks like Batty's almost got to the point where he's pulling the ball down and putting it in his outside arm, and then he kind of pulls it out really late. So just a little indecision, I think. If he pulls this thing clean, it's basically a race between him and him to the sideline. If he wins that, you got a pretty big play. But I think maybe a little indecision, not sure who he's going to go to. It never quite gets in Batty's belly there. but I think he wanted to pull that because if he pulled it, he had to play. So play action with a little jet motion, get play here, and you're just going to have a dig behind him there. I think he's got to come back down here. So use the play action and the aggressive nature. Get yourself a nice window off play action. Again, well-designed stuff. Even when you're losing by quite a bit. This is the last drive with the starters. And this is kind of the last play. This is the back into the left here. This was supposed to be a screen down here. I'm almost certain, right? Just look, he looks over here to throw it. These guys all are blocking, it looks like. He looks like he's running off. The linemen are releasing this way. I think you maybe have the double, but I think he was probably it very well could be that he was supposed to go over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like you have that, and he's coming back, right? So Marshall's over here like, what's going on? He turns and just throws it to a white jersey. So Joyner's like, I guess I'm catching this. And then gets the ball yoinked right there.
I mean,
but it was just kind of a cluster from the start. If Joyner's supposed to go down here, I mean, you've got a good play on down here. Or if he's not there and he throws it to Weaver, which I think, right, if he just throws it to Weaver, I'm not sure nobody's going to the corner, so I don't know. But it just seems like the play was just – I don't think Joyner and Weaver are both supposed to be screening two separate screens on that side. That's my guess.
Are you sure?
That's just a guess.
But like, how could you be so sure?
I can't be sure, They have been doing some interesting stuff. So maybe they're getting like some Canadian rules or something. But yeah, so this play's kind of doomed from the start, and then this just trying to make a play, and the guy, he just makes a good play. I mean, there's not that guy just you want to keep the ball in your outside arm, but this is just chaos from the beginning. So, and that's it. We don't need to talk about anything else.
No, we do not. No, we do not. That was a brutal watch on Saturday, at least defensively. I mean, it got 2 people fired. It may get a whole bunch more people fired at the end of the season, or at least not retained. Hopefully, they'll tell the coaches in a better way. It seems like they will, seeing as Michael Kelly said he's learned from how he handled the last firing.
And hey, whoever comes in, let's check and see what this staff thinks. I mean, these guys, like, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and we'll see what the rest of the defensive staff does. I am really interested to see what Ernie Sims calling it by himself, totally by himself. What does that look like? Because he had the UCF game, but there was also DePrado. They were co-defensive coordinators. So did he call the whole game?
Ernie called the plays for Central Florida, and I mean, I said it on the podcast this week. He should have been the one that got the job in the first place. I thought it was a pretty easy decision after how hard and good this defense played for him. And there is the dead cat bounce plus rivalry game to end the year kind of thing. But it just seems like everybody respects this guy, and he's going to be a defensive coordinator sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I think you asked him on the podcast or privately or something, does it buy Jeff more time if he gives?
I said on the podcast, if you hire a young DC that everybody respects, and you can say, well, he's learning, he's getting his lumps. Does that buy you more time? Towards you go out and get kind of a mercenary veteran guy, and so everyone's kind of thinking, all right, this guy comes in and fixes things. He's going to fix it.
I mean, that was my thought process as well, right? You bring him in, you end up bringing in Gary Bohannon because you think, all right, there's enough talent. If we just fix the defense, we fix the defense a little bit, we can win 6 games or at least compete for a bowl game. And then Then the games were actually played.
Yeah, I think there was. We'll see. I guess I'm really interested to see. I think there is interesting things to still watch with this team, even though the head coach has been fired. Ernie Sims is how he calls the game. Multiple games will be interesting to watch going forward.
Right.
If but I do think that there is a bit, and we haven't really talked a ton about it, but there was a bit of bad luck this year in terms of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. I think early on it hurt what they wanted to do. I think they wanted to play a lot of man coverage, and you're out there rolling like your fourth and fifth corner against ECU, against that receiver that's really good, and they really had no chance. So that obviously was a legitimate issue, but it just nothing ever seemed to work. And then you go play a really bad offense and just get rolled. So there's no coming back from that for Coach Shoop, and that's why he was let go along with Jeff. And that's something you don't see a ton, right? Like
yeah. Usually it's just like the head coach and
then we'll figure it out from there. But so are they? That's one thing are they elevating anybody else from off field to on field?
I haven't heard anything. I'll ask around and see what's what, because they have an extra spot. I wonder who it could be. So does Chad Morris stick around?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he'll finish the year, but it's these guys are. Some of them have probably been in a similar situation before. I had a guy I was coaching with tell me, like, there's two kinds of coaches that have been fired and coaches that are going to be fired. Like, it's kind of it goes with the profession. If you're in it long enough, you'll probably get fired for one reason or the other.
Yeah.
So, Chad Morris is experienced with that himself, but I would imagine he'll stick it out. But yeah, I wonder, who do they elevate? Do they elevate somebody on the defensive side of the ball? I'd imagine, right? Like
maybe
does
Sawyer
have
Jordan
any
or
position?
Something like that. He had safeties.
Was he safeties? Yeah. So I don't know, because then you can also have like they have two more guys, really two spots in the recruiting side. Right?
Yeah,
I guess really two spots open, right? Because you can have 10 full time.
Yeah.
Head coach, 9 assistants. So you got rid of a head coach and assistant. So you might have, and DePrado's the head coach now. So you have two. His position spot goes away. So now you have two positions open. I would imagine you could elevate some guys for the rest of the year, which I haven't seen anybody talk about that, but I would imagine that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, the last time USF had an interim coach with games being played, it was obviously Willie Taggart leaving for Oregon. TJ Weiss becomes the interim head coach. Lindsey Lamar actually gets elevated from, I think he was like a GA at that point, to wide receivers coach, and now he's the wide receivers coach at Howard. And it was kind of that kind of progression. So, I'll have to check in on that and see how that's kind of shaped up.
Because you could bring you could elevate a GA, or you could bring in a guy that's an analyst. So just looking, they have Thad Mangum's a GA. Jay Shoop is a graduate assistant.
Do you think he's sticking around?
I mean, you got to finish up the semester, but I don't think they're elevating him. It's just a guess. Sins of the father notwithstanding, right? Bryce Suber and Ruben Wright are quality control on defense.
Will Baylor, maybe?
Was he a defensive guy previously?
Yeah, I feel like he was. I know he's the director of recruiting.
He was offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach at Lakeland High. I thought for some reason he was a DC, but maybe.
Sawyer Jordan, maybe. He's a QC for offense. Ruben Wright, maybe. There aren't very many options.
Yeah, they don't have a huge staff. What is Ruben Wright seems to be a defensive line guy.
Yep.
So yeah, I would imagine you'd either have somebody come in and take. You obviously need somebody for a shoot spot, and you need somebody for. You may want somebody for Ernie Sims' normal spot, but he may just stick with that and just keep it going like normal.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting subplot there. Is who's getting the promotion?
Yeah, we'll have to dig in deep and figure that out. So we'll kind of wrap this up pretty quick and breezy, especially when you don't have to talk about the defense because they weren't there on Saturday.
No, we did not. We did not watch much of that. We got to see our fill of it on Saturday. So
yeah, once is enough.
Yes, they do have the coaching staff updated. So
they do. No one,
nobody's making that jump up.
No one's made the jump quite yet. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll ask around and go from there. But yeah, thanks for tuning in for another edition of TDS Live Temple Film Room. We'll be back Saturday inside Raymond James Stadium for the first time for Seth since
I haven't been to a game since the Florida game. I realized that the other day because of the hurricane, and then I had some stomach ailments. It must have been from after doing a defensive film room.
That can only
it might have been lingering effects from earlier in the season.
So it'll be fun times ahead. Lots of Diet Cokes in our future.
What a day! A brunch. I'm sure they're going to lay out a nice brunch spread for us.
A nice boxed lunch brunch.
Boxed brunch. You know what would that entail? Just like a cereal, like a little mini box of Frosted Mini Wheats or something.
Let's not get carried away. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you, Seth, cutting up the film, making us a little bit smarter each and every week. Be sure to check him out at Seth Varnadore. I am Nathan Bond at Bulls Nathan SBN. Check out Stampede SBN on Twitter.
And we were verified before you had to pay for it.
And we were verified before you had to pay for it. How long we're verified for remains up for debate. We are at least a full 24 hours into the new version of Twitter, which seems like a terrible idea.
I'm still here. I think it looks like you're still there too. So
yep.
It's because let me read this for everyone, just so people understand how great this film room is. This account's verified because it's notable in government, news, entertainment, or another designated category.
There it is.
Film rooms is the other category.
There it is. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. We will see you guys after the SMU game. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.